Digiyatra. At Indian airports, you can trade in your biometrics to get past security faster. But what's the cost? See, we've all been there. Passport in one hand, boarding pass in the other, and a half-open duffel bag over your shoulder. I mean, you're LARPing a circus juggler just to get past the first security guard. But what if your face was the only ID you needed? No papers, no documents, just walk. This is the promise of India's Digiyatra. It's been called a walk in the park experience. But as it grows from a tiny experiment to a national standard, we have to ask, at what point does convenience turn into surveillance? Who owns Digiyatra? What information is being collected? Is Digiyatra controversial? And more interestingly, why do people sign up anyway? So how does Digiyatra work? It's really simple. You walk up to the gate, scan a barcode, the machine scans your face, checks that you are you, and bada bing, bada boom, you're on your merry way. Oops, not registered? That's okay. You can do it on the spot. You download the app, upload all of your information, take a selfie, upload your boarding pass, and boom, done. Oh, and of course, you have to give your Aadhaar number, which is this 12-digit ID that, if you lived in India, you can sign up for. Actually, you kind of have to sign up for it, unless you want to experience, let's just say, a high-friction lifestyle. Welcome to the club! Guess what? There's now a special line just for you. You can do a nice little Princess Diana wave to all the peasants waiting in the manual ID checking line as you cruise past them and get to the fast lane.
और डिजी यात्रा से जाओ, गेट पे खड़े रहो, फट करके गेट खुल जाता है, बट ये किसी ने करना नहीं है. भाई डिजी यात्रा डालो.
But something feels a little sketchy. There's nothing such as a free lunch. And you wonder, who did I just give my data to? I mean, who runs Digiyatra? To find out, I went on their official website. Ah, yes, a modern, quirky landing page. Motion graphics, very nice, very nice. Oh, a bot. He can probably help me. All right, who runs this company? Okay, what about FAQ? Ah, Digiyatra is a Ministry of Civil Aviation, Government of India-led initiative. But don't be mistaken. The product is not entirely owned by the government. It's actually owned by a private non-profit company. And within this company, the Airports Authority of India holds a 26% stake, while the Kochi, Hyderabad, Bengaluru, Delhi, and Mumbai airports hold the remaining stake. So the company is really jointly owned by the government and private airports. All right, now, what's the tech wizardry behind Digiyatra? What's going on behind the curtains? Let's see here. The solution is built on W3C standards using self-sovereign identity, verifiable credentials, decentralized identifiers, and uses a distributed ledger for decentralized layer of trust between the various participants of the ecosystem. Okay, here's an Eli 5 version of whatever that was. Self-sovereign identity is this idea that you, and you only, are the one who owns and controls your digital identity. Imagine a physical wallet. Maybe inside you've got spare change, an expired Shop or Stop loyalty card, and your driver's license. Let's think about this driver's license. You had to go to the RTO to get it. It's an official ID. Whenever you go to a club, let's say, you would show the bouncer your ID. The bouncer wouldn't call the RTO to check if you're real. They trust the security features on the card itself. SSI does this, but with code. Think of SSI as a digital vault on your phone. You hold verifiable credentials, VCs, basically digital versions of your ID. It's a decentralized system that uses a digital ledger. Think blockchain. which is also used in crypto, by the way, to prove that the ID is authentic, that you are you. At the airport, this means that your data is stored locally on your device and purged from the airport system within 24 hours of your flight. So when you take a selfie through the app, it matches your biometrics stored with your Aadhaar ID, and done. Your identity is verified. But here's where it gets messy. The policy says that Digiyatra is 100% voluntary. In reality, this is kind of not true. There's been a backlash. A 2024 survey at the Delhi airport found something pretty nasty. Almost a third of the travelers signed up for Digiyatra unknowingly. They thought they were just in a normal security line or were being photographed for standard security. This is what we call a dark pattern. Designing a system that tricks users into making a choice they didn't want to make. In this case, those travelers might haven't even noticed that they were being signed up because they were just trying to not miss their flight. Some say that the airport staff members ambushed them. Others admit it's just time-pressured ignorance.
This is how a large number of passengers, including me, got ambushed into signing up. I thought I was simply showing my ID and ticket to the security personnel when the screen next to him took my photo and processed it before I could process anything.
Either way, travelers' information was handed over to Digiyatra without their consent. As software builders and users, we know that automation always has a trade-off. But when the trade-off is made through dark patterns instead of clear consent, what we sacrifice is user autonomy. People just won't trust technology anymore. It's a bit of a paradox, right? We want the magic of the 5-second facial scans, but we don't want to be tricked into it through the messy UI. And as someone who builds digital products, seeing these dark patterns in the wild really makes me want to go back to the drawing board and see who's actually getting the UX right. Whenever I'm stuck in that research phase, or honestly, whenever I'm just looking for a bit of a design reality check, I go to Mobbin. I've been using them for a while now to scout for inspiration. Inspiration from actual functional websites and apps. If you haven't used it, Mobbin is basically this massive searchable library of screens for apps and websites. We're talking over 600,000 screens from Airbnb, Duolingo, Uber, and Google TV. Just apps you've probably heard of before. They've also been expanding internationally, which is pretty neat. What I love, and what would have probably been handy for the Digiyatra team, is that you can search by specific flows. If I'm designing an onboarding sequence and I want it to feel seamless rather than sneaky, you can see exactly how the pros handle it. You can even copy these flows directly into Figma, which is a massive time saver for my actual workflow. It's a tool I genuinely enjoy to use to keep my own designs sharp. So if you're a developer, designer, or just a nerd for good, solid products like I am, check out the link below to get your own pocket design library with Mobbin. Anyway, back to the airport. So then, why are people registering for Digiyatra anyway? Because the user experience is great. I mean, a little bit of privacy sacrifice to not miss a flight? Sign me up. I mean, people post on the internet about how, overall, they're still happy with Digiyatra. Such a small step, but it calms your mind a lot. Used it twice in the last week and it's been very smooth. Even a lifesaver at the Ahmedabad airport where there's no domestic transfers, so you have to exit and enter the airport again. Ooh, and this one's fun. I reached airport at 5:50 along with my old age parents. We were in such a hurry and a long queue was already present there. Then, an airport staff member came to us and asked, "Are you all Digiyatra users?" I said, "Yes." And you guys, I can't believe with Digiyatra, we were all in the boarding area within 12-ish minutes. This is like when a bouncer comes to you in a club line and asks if you were a VIP, and then brings you in, skipping the entire line. I bet it feels nice. Also, I don't go to clubs that often. It's just a relevant metaphor for this video. I remember as a kid, the day of a flight, my dad would go, 快点,快点,来不及了. And we'd end up at the airport 4 hours before the flight. Now I understand. These dads were taught the hard way. Manual document checks take about 15 seconds, while a facial scan takes 5. These 10 extra seconds, multiplied by however many people rushing at an airport, can mean minutes, even hours of time spent waiting, which may just mean missed flights. Also, at some places, the lines go outside the airport. And you can even pay these special line guardians to bypass the line. When there is time pressure, there's money to be made. And people will pay. Psychologically, we are wired to choose the path of least resistance. In a high-stress environment like an airport, it feels like magic when someone is recognized by the system. Imagine you're cooking a dish. When you add a pinch of stress and then a spoonful of convenient technology, no wonder why we get a final dish called sacrifice of privacy. What can we learn from this? Well, a company collecting data isn't necessarily always a bad thing. It's how they use it. Is it to shove you personalized ads, or is it to help you get past security faster at an airport? Digiyatra helps people save time in stressful moments, but the way they do it was once controversial. Users are signed up unknowingly. There's a fine line between successful automation and dark patterns. Which side of this line do you choose to stand on?